What's going on, guys? In this video, I'm bringing my predictions for the top 10 rated players in NHL 24. This is going to be kind of a mix between what I think they should be as well as what I think EA is going to make them. So, at number 1, no question about it, the guy that had over 150 points this season, Connor McDavid. I've got him being 97 overall there with high franchise potential. I feel like for whatever reason, EA just doesn't want to give any player 99. They don't think they're a perfect player or whatever. Plus, the way the attributes work, to make him a 99, his defensive awareness would just have to be way too high. And obviously, McDavid just isn't that good defensively. So, 97 is about as high as you can get him, while still being somewhat realistic. Like 91 D awareness, 99 stick check is definitely too high for McDavid. But that's just kind of how I did the stats to make the rest work. Perfect puck skills, perfect skating, 99 offensive awareness and poise. The shot there is very accurate, but not as powerful. Physical is also pretty reasonable there. You might notice too, like faceoffs 82, discipline 88. That's actually all based on actual stats. So Connor McDavid, 97 overall for number 97, I think is quite fitting. Now, number 2 here, guys, this was also no surprise. We got the cover boy, Makar, 95 overall, medium franchise potential. I feel like he definitely deserves this spot, and the fact that he's the cover boy pretty much guarantees he'll be the number 2 rated player behind McDavid. I think, he is the best defenseman in the league, that's for sure. You look at his stats there, just so good all around. Like, such a good skater. I gave him 99 agility. People could argue about that, but I think it's fun to kind of throw a few 99 attributes, even if you don't have 99 overall players. Defensively, very solid. Offensively, of course, just a great player. Similar to McDavid, his physical stats, the worst part of his game. I mean, he's an undersized defenseman, under 6 foot, under 200 pounds, but he makes up for that with just amazing skating, amazing just hockey IQ. Both his offensive and defensive abilities are top tier for defensemen, so I feel like most people aren't going to argue with 95 overall Makar. Also, too, guys, I should point out, like, the X factors there. I tried to make it, the best X factors I could, the ones that made the most sense for each player. Now, next up is actually his teammate, so I don't have to go far, and that is Nathan MacKinnon. So you guys can see his X factors there. He's also 95 overall, medium franchise potential. I feel like MacKinnon had the 3rd highest points per game this season, behind only McDavid and Draisaitl. Obviously, world-class player for sure. You guys can see there, puck skills almost perfect. Very good shot on him, very, very fast. I think he's like the 2nd best skater behind McDavid in terms of the attributes there. Similar to McDavid, his defensive stats are probably a little bit higher than they should be, but not so drastically that I think it's too big of a deal. Physical is also there a little bit lower, but McKinnon just such a sick player. You guys can see, like, he's got the ankle breaker X factor, he's got the wheels, he's so fast, such six hands. Very good offensively. I think, a big reason why Colorado such a good team is because they're led by these 2 guys. And now number 4 here, guys, I just mentioned his name. We got Leon Draisaitl, 95 overall, medium franchise potential. I think he's proven over the past, 3 or 4 years. He's a world-class player in his own right, not just a byproduct of McDavid. Looking at his attributes here, you guys can see him as a sniper. I feel like sniper or playmaker works for Draisaitl, kind of like McDavid as well. Like, dude just had 60 goals this year, but I still have him as a playmaker. The world-class players can honestly be either or. You can see there, 98 offensive awareness. Skating is a little bit lower compared to the rest of the guys, but he's got a lot better physical there. He's 6'2", so he's got 92 strength, solid aggressiveness and body check. Defensive stats there, probably a little bit higher for Draisaitl as well, but again, we had to boost those up to get the rating higher. Very good shot on him, very good hands. Again, just such a good player. I don't think anyone's going to argue with him being the top 5. And now rounding out the top 5, I got the guy who kind of took over the hockey role this year in the playoffs, and that's Matthew Tkachuk, 94 overall, high elite. So we're now in the 94s. I feel like Tkachuk, definitely improved this season. He's a franchise player, kind of took over that Florida Panthers team in his first year with them. Obviously, definitely a different player than the ones we've seen before. 5-star physical there, 94 aggressiveness. As I mentioned before, he really took over the playoffs this year due to the way he plays his game. Not only is he super skilled, but he's also got that edge to his game, not afraid to get into it with other players. Sometimes he takes bad penalties, though, so you can see the lower discipline stat there. But again, Tkachuk, just such a good player. He's got great hands as well. Obviously, he loves that between the legs goal. He's got a good shot. He gets up front of the net. He battles in the hard areas. Pretty decent defensively there, so his are actually a little bit higher, although still probably, too high for him. And in regards to Chuck's X factors, guys, as I mentioned before, he loves that between the leg goals, so he's got the itch tricky zone ability. And then apart from the other superstars, like I mentioned, he's often, in front of the net, fighting the dirty areas, so he's got big tipper, close quarters, crease crasher, total eclipse, but of course a great playmaker, so he also gets tape to tape. And now next year, guys, at number 6, I have David Pastrnak, also 94 overall, highly potential. I think, Pastrnak had 60 goals this year, so it wasn't for McDavid just going off. He would have won the Rich Richard. Such a good sniper. You guys can see there his shot, 97 accuracy for the wrist shot, 95 for the slap shot. Very good hands as well. Offensive awareness, 98. Decent skater. Defensively, again, a little bit higher than he should be, but we have to do that for the overall. I feel like I keep repeating myself, but again, I just want to remind you guys in case you're wondering how he's that good defensively. Physical stats also, aren't the greatest, kind of similar, to the McKinnons, to the McDavids. But again, Pastrnak, one of the best scorers in the league. You guys can see the X factors there. Pretty much all shooting stuff aside from tape to tape. And now next year, guys, at number 7, I'm sure Leafs fans are wondering where their guy is. We got Austin Matthews, 94 overall, medium franchise. Honestly, he probably should be number 5 if potential is the tiebreaker, but I'm not gonna lie, I just want to make Leafs fans sweat wondering where he was. Obviously, one of the best goal scorers in the NHL. You can see there his shot is like insane. 97 wrist shot accuracy, 94 power. The slap shot accuracy is 96. And he's actually one of the few guys on this list that actually deserves their defensive stats. You can see there 93 D awareness, 94 stick check. Like, he is actually that good two-way. The hands there, very solid. Not as good a passer as some of the other guys on this list, but still a good passing ability. Skating there, solid, not amazing. Physical stats are pretty good. Like, he's 6'3", he's got the 90 strength. Obviously, I think we all know about Austin Matthews. Very, very good scorer. Probably for him, the biggest thing is just durability. You can see I got him at 80 there. If he stays healthy, he should be right around one of the top 5 players in the league. And then for his X factors, you guys can see just all shooting stuff because he does have to give a shot. So Matthews at number 7. Tied for 5. We'll see if Leafs fans get upset with that one. And now next year, guys, number 8, we got Nikita Kucherov, also 94 overall, medium franchise potential. I feel like he's just such a sick player. Last year, I think a lot of people didn't even realize he had basically an assist a game, so I decided to give him 99 passing. Again, I like to actually, have some 99 attributes, have some fun. I kind of understand not giving any players 99 overall because no one's perfect, but there's really no reason why you can't throw around some 99 attributes. Just makes it kind of cool to see. Kucherov has the best passing in the NHL, tied with McDavid. I think that's pretty fair. You look at the rest of his hands there, they're sick. 98 offensive awareness. Solid shot. Defensively, for sure, he's a little bit too high rated, but had to do that to get him to 94. Decent skater there. Physical, you can see he's a bit aggressive. 92 aggressiveness. Kucherov takes, a bad penalty here and there, but for the most part, he is pretty disciplined. So Kucherov, like I said, one of the best offensive players in the NHL. Decided to actually change his own ability here to tape to tape after how many assists he put up last season. The rest of the X factors there, I think, makes sense. So Kucherov, I think for sure, no one would argue, isn't a top 10 player in the league. And now next year, guys, number 9, we actually have another Colorado Avalanche and Mikko Rantanen, 93 overall, high elite potential, so no longer in the 94s. I'm pretty sure, too, he was 3rd in goals this year behind only McDavid and Pasternak, so again, had to have high shooting attributes. Very good offensively, solid hands. Defensive stats there a little bit lower. Solid skater. He's 6'4", so he's got the 90 strength there as well. Like, he's big, he can shoot. And again, I think when you look at the Avalanche, they're led by him, and McKinnon, Makar. There's a reason why they're so dominant. X factors wise, you can see there, just all offensive stuff. Rantanen, such a great player. I think he showed that this year, especially with, McKinnon being out for a bit. He was still playing quite well. Definitely deserving of a top 10 spot on this list. And now, last but not least, guys, at number 10 here, we got Jason Robertson, also 93 overall, highly potential. I feel like, so many guys had over 100 points this year. EA is definitely going to boost them up and kind of have their ratings reflect that. Again, similar to Rantanen, a very good shooter. You can see 97 shot, you can see 95 slap shot. Still very good hands. Awesome offensive awareness. Defensive awareness, they're a little bit lower, 87. Solid skater, too, especially for his size, 6'3". Strength's pretty high, not the most aggressive player. High discipline. You look at his X factors there. I think, most of those make sense. Very good on the breakaways as well. So, Robertson at number 10, I think, had so many points this year. Big reason why Dallas was such a good team. And I will say, guys, there's actually one more player on this top 10 list. I had Rantanen and Robertson both at 93, and there's another player at 93 overall. So, kind of tied for the 10th spot, or however you want to say it. We got Vasilevsky here, the 11th player in the top 10 list. 93 overall, medium franchise goalie. In my opinion, he's probably still the best goalie in the league. I look at his stats there. I think, most of those make sense. 95 points, so good in the playoffs. 95 recover. He's also got 90 endurance because he plays like almost every game there for the Lightning. So Vasilevsky, best goalie in the league. I think some people would argue Shesterkin, Sorokin, one of the other Russian goalies, but for me, it's still Vasilevsky. So those are my predictions for the top 10 rated players, guys. I will mention too, EA actually asked us to vote on who we think the top rated player will be at each position. So right there, you guys can see my picks. I already showed you the ratings for all these guys, but Yossi, as I've got him at 92 overall, medium franchise, obviously a great offensive defenseman who also has a very good defensive game as well. I think there's a lot of guys who are actually 92 on my list. If you guys are wondering where like Petey is, or Kaprizov, Crosby, any guys like that you think, should be on this list, I probably would have been like 92 overall. But again, a top 10 list. I made it 11 players. I can't make it, 17 players or anything like that. So those are my predictions, guys. Let me know your thoughts on them in the comment section below. Do you agree or disagree? And as always, if you enjoyed this video, leave a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit that sub button. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a nice day. Goodbye.